Pence of Indiana is going to be there, and he joins us right now from our bureau. Good morning to you, Governor.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Good to be with you.
It's great to have you as well. So it's a conversation with the president. What would you like to tell the president or make sure that he understands from your point of view in Indiana?
Well, what I want to say is that I come from a state that works. I mean, the state of Indiana saw 42,000 new private sector jobs created last year. We're seeing manufacturing come back. Our economy is growing stronger. We have the lowest unemployment rate in the Midwest. And that's because we've been doing things the Indiana way. So my message to the president this morning is I'd like to see this administration take action to give states more freedom and more flexibility to innovate on a broad range of issues, whether it be transportation, whether it be education, whether it be health care, because Indiana and a lot of other Republican-led states around the country are seeing growth and opportunity and jobs and educational advancement. And I think empowering our states to innovate is going to be a pathway forward for our economy and for our country.
So, Governor, when you say you want the federal government to give the states more freedom, essentially you're saying, get out of our business.
Well, you know, we are in a certain sense, but it's a little more profound than that. You know, I served for a dozen years on Capitol Hill, and I've served for a little more than 12 months as governor of Indiana. And Steve, I'm absolutely convinced that the cure for what ails this country is going to come more from our nation's state capitals than it ever will from our nation's capital. So the key here for me is to deliver a message along with other governors, including some Democrats who share this view as well, that says instead of trying to solve all these intractable problems in Washington, D.C., why don't you give states the opportunity to try different ideas? And in Indiana, we have the fastest growing school choice program in the United States. We're looking to expand more education innovation. We have one of the most innovative public health care programs in the country, the Healthy Indiana Plan. You know, allowing innovation on education, on health care, on transportation at the state level, and then see what works is really, I think it's a part of what the genius of the American experiment for more than 2 centuries.
Well, there in Indiana, you've got a minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. I got a feeling the president's going to bend all the governor's ears later on today, and he's going to say, we really need a minimum wage of $10.10 per hour. We've heard from the Congressional Budget Office that could result in up to 1 million Americans losing their jobs. What do you think if the minimum wage goes up from $7.25 in your state to $10.10?
Well, look, I want every Hoosier to make more than the minimum wage. There's a couple of ways you can do that. Number one is the federal government or the states can raise the minimum wage. They certainly have the ability to do that. So you can do it by mandates. But I think the better course is a combination of lifting the burden on businesses small and large. In Indiana, we just passed the largest state tax cut in Indiana history. We're actually considering corporate tax reductions in the current session of the General Assembly. We've been rolling back red tape. And the other piece of this is education. You know, in Indiana, we're making an effort to make career and vocational education a priority in every high school in our state again. I mean, the jobs that the state of Indiana was involved in bringing to our state last year have an average wage of about $21 an hour.
That's great.
But the challenges our business face is oftentimes finding people to fill those good-paying jobs. So I think lifting the burden on businesses and taxes and regulations and creating more effective career and vocational education is a better pathway.
Lower unemployment, a lot of jobs, good schools. You know, you should run for president. Have you thought about that?
Well, thanks. I'm flattered at the suggestion, and I'm awfully proud of the Hoosier State. But I'll be honest with you, Steve, I haven't spent 1 second over the last 13 months thinking about anything other than the future of the people of Indiana, and I'll stay focused on their future instead of mine.
I got a feeling there are a lot of people who would like to see you running for president because you got a great message out there. Mike Pence, the governor of the great state of Indiana. Sir, thank you very much. Have a great meeting with the president today.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet.